By 1899, the Wild West was already dying. Railroads cut through open land, cities expanded, lawmen became organized, and the freedom that once defined the frontier was slowly being replaced by rules, borders, and consequences. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not a story about the rise of outlaws. It's about their extinction. And at the center of it all is the Linde gang, a group of people holding onto a dream that no longer fits the world around them. Before the game even begins, everything has already gone wrong. The Linde gang attempts a ferry robbery in the town of Blackwater. What was meant to be a simple heist turns into chaos. Civilians are killed. The law responds immediately, and the gang is forced to flee without their money. What exactly happened in Blackwater is never fully explained, and that's intentional. Blackwater becomes a shadow that hangs over the entire story. The first major mistake, Dutch van der Linde refuses to acknowledge, and the moment his leadership truly begins to fail. From here on, the gang isn't chasing freedom anymore. They're running away from consequences. The story opens in the frozen mountains near Coulter. The gang is starving, injured, and surrounded. Morale is low, supplies are gone, and every move risks exposure. But despite all of this, Dutch speaks with confidence.
Listen to me, all of you, for a moment. Now, we've had, well, a bad couple of days. I loved Davy, Jenny, Sean, Mac. They may be okay. We don't know.
He promises safety. He promises a plan. He promises that it is temporary. And Arthur Morgan believes him. Arthur has been with Dutch since he was a teenager. He doesn't just follow him, he owes him. Dutch raised him, taught him, gave him purpose. Loyalty isn't a choice for Arthur, it's who he is. At this point, Arthur doesn't question the gang's actions, he enforces them. After escaping the snow, the gang sets up a camp near Valentine, a horseshoe overlook. This is the Van der Linde gang at its best, and the closest thing they'll ever have to peace. They hunt, they sing, they laugh around the fire. There's tension, but there's also hope. Dutch still sounds like a leader, but Arthur still believes. Outside of camp, the world is hardening. Industrialists like Victus Cornwall don't just have money, they have armies. The law is no longer a lone sheriff, it's a system, connected by telegraph and rail. Every robbery draws more attention, every success makes them more visible. Dutch talks of one last score, a final paradise, but you can feel the dream starting to strain. The air is still warm, the night's still calm, but the clock is already ticking. Pressure changes people, and it changes Dutch most of all. His speeches shift, less about freedom, more about enemies. Less about outrunning the law, more about making it bleed. During a botched job in Valentine, he kills an innocent woman. It wasn't part of the plan. It wasn't necessary. Arthur notices, but saying something would mean questioning everything. The man who raised him, the life he's built, so he stays silent. Meanwhile, the Pickertons are closing in. They know Dutch's name. They know his methods. The gang is no longer hiding within the wilderness. They're trapped in it. And Dutch's response isn't to run smarter. It's to fight louder. The cracks aren't just forming in the plan. They're forming in the man.
Spent a few weeks down around the town of Rhodes recently. Don't know if you ever passed through it, though. Fella told me about these two old plantation families there, how they had the seeds falling out. How one of them had hidden a big old pile of gold somewhere.
Desperate for some momentum, Dutch leads the gang into the heart of an old money feud between two families, the Greys and the Braithwaites. He thinks he can still outsmart them both, play them against each other, and walk away richer. But these aren't frontier fools. They are dynasties with generations of pride and vengeance in their blood. And the gang, they're just another piece on the board. It all unravels violently. Sean, loud, Irish, full of life, is shot dead without warning. Jack, the gang's only child, is taken, and Dutch doesn't respond with a plan. He responds with fire. Manors burn, families are wiped out. What was meant to be a clever con becomes a bloodbath. They get Jack back, but the cost isn't measured in money. It's measured in trust and soul. Dutch isn't saving the family anymore. He's feeding something darker. A need to prove he's still in control. Still the smartest man in the room, even as the room burns down around him. At this point, they flee to Saint Denis, a city of electric light, trolley cars, and crowded streets. It's everything Dutch claims to hate: ordered, modern, civilized. Yet in his desperation, he sees it as their salvation. One last job, he says, a bank heist, so grand it will fund their escape to paradise. But Saint Denis doesn't sleep, it watches. The Pinkertons aren't chasing shadows here, they're waiting. The heist is a disaster from the start. Hosea, the gang's heart, is captured and executed publicly in the street. A message: Lenny, young and quick, is gone down in an alley. The escape is chaos. The gang is shattered, not just in number, but in spirit.
What now?
And in the middle of it all, Dutch breaks.
I don't.
Not quietly, but in front of everyone.
This whole town
Screaming,
is filled
lost,
with cops.
unraveling.
Well, how long we gonna stay here? A few hours?
We go back to camp, they're gonna get every last one of us. I know they're gonna be watching the roads. I got it. A boat.
What you mean?
We stay here till nightfall. Then we sneak on down to the docks. We get
The mask of the visionary falls completely. The dream isn't just broken now, it's dead in the gutter, beside the bodies of the men who still believed in it.
Sure. This boat ain't going to Tahiti by any chance.
I don't know. John, Lenny, Hosea, that wasn't good.
I know. So what we gonna do now?
Guess I'm gonna introduce myself to the captain. Give him some of this gold to secure his silence, and find out where we're heading. How do I look?
Like a shifty, no-good killer on the run from the law.
Ain't that the truth?
The gang find themselves washed ashore on Guarma. They are more than lost. They're irrelevant. This isn't their country, their conflict, or their story. They're strangers in a revolution they don't understand, fighting for a cause that isn't theirs. Here, Dutch's speeches sound like echoes. His grand plans feel small, reckless, detached from any reality. Arthur watches him, not as a loyal son, but as a man seeing clearly for the first time. He doesn't see a leader making hard choices. He sees a man performing leadership, clinging to control as it slips through his fingers. When they finally escape the island, Arthur isn't just older, he's wiser. And what's waiting for him back home will test that wisdom in ways he never expected.
Mister, are you okay? Mister, are you okay? Are you okay, mister?
Linde, give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll be fine in a minute. There. I'm fine.
Nearly there, just around this corner.
Can I help you?
I need a doctor.
Oh, just 1 second, sir.
Come in, pal. Come in.
Mister, I need some help.
And so it seems. And that's Doctor, Mister to you.
I'm sorry.
I was joking. Look, friend, I don't mean nothing, but you got money? I mean, before I start treating you, 'cause I got a family.
Yeah, I understand. Here, that do you?
Sure. Thank you. Now, what's wrong? I mean, what appear to be the symptoms?
Well, I think you've heard them. I'm coughing.
Is there any blood?
Sometimes.
Okay, now here. Breathe. Again. Yeah. Let me see your tongue. Now say ah.
Ah. What is it?
It's not good news.
I guess that.
You got tuberculosis. Really sorry for you, son. It's a hell of a thing.
What you mean?
You're real sick. It's a progressive disease, and you'll be... Now, the best thing is rest, and getting somewhere warm and dry and taking it easy. Now, is that possible?
Sure, I can just take my winters in my country club in California. No, it's not possible.
Well, like I said, I'm real sorry.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, but wait. Let me get you a little bit more energy today.
The cough that began as a nuisance is now a constant, bloody reminder. The doctor's diagnosis is tuberculosis, a death sentence. Time, which once felt like an open plain, now has a fence around it. And with that limit comes a painful, clarifying focus. Arthur starts to see the trail of pain he's left. The lives ruined, the families broken, all in the name of loyalty to a man and a dream that's turned to dust. He doesn't change overnight, but he begins to choose. He helps strangers not for money, but because it's right. He questions Dutch not to rebel, but because someone has to. He protects John, Abigail and Jack, not as a gang, but as the last flicker of something good he can save. The game stops being about surviving the wilderness. It becomes about saving what's left of your soul before the clock runs out. Into this vacuum of leadership slithers Micah Bell. Where Arthur is reflecting, Micah is scheming. He represents the new outlaw. No code, no loyalty, just pure survival instinct. He's a perfect poison for Dutch's paranoia. Micah whispers, he lies, he paints every doubter as a traitor, and Dutch, who can no longer tell friends from foe, listens. He chooses the snake, who flatters him over the son who challenges him. The camp splits. Friends become suspects. The family Dutch always preached about is torn apart by the very fear he now pleads. And when Arthur finally stands up and says enough, Dutch turns him back. The final betrayal isn't violent, it's quiet, and it's complete.
He's lying. He's lying!
Put your guns down!
Arthur knows the story is ending, so he makes sure John's doesn't.
I'm coming with you. I'm gonna get you out of this bullshit if it's the last goddamn thing I do.
All right, Arthur, come on, let's go.
You go.
Keep pushing, Arthur.
No. No. I think I've pushed all I can.
Come on.
You go.
We ain't got time for this, not now.
We ain't both gonna make it. Go. Now. I'll hold them off. It would mean a lot to me. Please.
He gives him the one gift left to give, an escape, a real chance, at the life they all talked about but never lived. The final ride is quite a pilgrimage, a man making peace with his past as he rides towards his end. The confrontation with Micah is inevitable. Dutch is there too, a ghost watching his own legacy crumble. And when the moment of truth comes, he walks away. The great leader, reduced to a spectator at his own failure. Arthur's end is not triumphant, it's earned. On a mountain, breathless and bleeding. He either finds peace watching the sunrise or goes down fighting. But he dies redeemed. Not because he was a hero, but because in the end, he chose not to be a villain. Arthur's sacrifice plants a seed. Years later, John Marston tries to make it grow. He builds a ranch. Beecher's hope. He works the land. He wears the hat of a husband, a father, a farmer. He tries every day to leave the outlaw in the past. But the past has a long memory. And across the years, one name still echoes.
If you're here, come out.
Hello, Scarface.
Micah Bell, the last loose thread of the Vandelina gang, still dangling, still threatening to unravel the life John has built. The showdown happens in the snow, high on Mountain Hagen. Micah is there, surrounded by what's left of his own kind of gang. Not a family, but a pack. And then from the shadows steps Dutch. Older, emptier, a shell of the man he was. In a moment of stunning, silent clarity, Dutch makes his last choice. He doesn't help John. He doesn't save Micah. He simply ends it. Then he walks into the blizzard, a ghost returning to the myth he came from. The last outlaw of the old era disappears. The gang is gone. And the story, without the fanfare, passes quietly to the man who will finish it, John Marston. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not a story of glory. It's a story of twilight, watching a way of life fade and deciding how to face what comes next. It asks, when the world moves on without you, do you hold on to what you were, or do you let it go and become something better? Arthur Morgan chose to let go. He chose to be better, and in doing so, he found the one thing Dutch's Paradise never offered: redemption.